I'm really honored to be asked to speak today at Commencement. You guys have given me one last chance to give you a good ideological brainwashing. In theme with this speech, I want to first recognize some of the folks that operate the invisible infrastructure that got us through these last 2 years, as others have done just now. On behalf of MIMS 15, I thank the staff and career services for their support and guidance and ability to keep the whole MIMS machine well-oiled and running smoothly. We also thank the faculty for their challenges to us that made us despair at times, but more importantly, held us to high standards and made today a lot more sweet in doing so. We thank our friends and families who've supported us, sometimes from great distances, with care, support, food, and the faith that whatever it was exactly that we were doing here, it was going to be good. Thank you, Mom, aunties, Rossman, Lauren, Couslings. Thank you for being my supporters. In information theory terms, we all know these graduation speeches don't have a high degree of information in them. You can sort of expect to hear the same stuff over and over again. So in the spirit of our profession, I went ahead and leveraged my iSchool skills to create a data-driven speech generator algorithm, which created the speech that you will hear today. First, I made a word cloud from a systematic random sampling of classmates' notes and the noise email thread over the last 2 years. I was going to make a pie chart of common words, but I was afraid Professor Hurst would have my diploma revoked, especially after the word cloud. Then I just plugged in the most popular words, and this is what I got. So don't worry, it's a totally neutral algorithm. It won't be biased towards any single person's experience in any way. Although I did have to remove the last 3 months' worth of the noise thread because it was all the words alumni network over and over. 2 years ago, when you asked the fresh-faced MIMS class of 2015 what they thought they'd learned at the iSchool, you'd have gotten a litany of things like new JavaScript frameworks, user interface design, and how to do stuff with data and stuff. So it's kind of a beautiful thing when you ask them what they actually have learned, and they say things like patience, empathy, context is everything. And my personal favorite, technological systems have politics. Yeah, that's right. We spend a lot of text batting about the idea of an information professional and how we should be defined. I will carry on the time-honored tradition of the iSchool commencement speakers that avoid answering that question. So instead, I want to put one last assignment in front of you. This is an assignment you won't turn in, and you'll just have hanging over your head forever into the future. You're welcome. It starts with this quote from a book called Sorting Things Out. Good infrastructure is hard to find. I love it because it has two meanings. First, it means it's hard to find good infrastructure because it's challenging to build it. A lot of infrastructure out there doesn't work well. This will be your job, and your job will be hard. It's not easy to understand people or design for them. It's a moving target, and when you put your best efforts into a user-centered process, you still are going to make a lot of things that fail. But it means something else, too. It means that infrastructure that's good fades into the background of our lives to the point that we don't see it and expect it to invisibly work. This is why our job is so hard. We have to create systems that work so well no one notices them. Which is why I want to suggest that the quote is also true, tweaked a little bit. This is getting us towards the assignment. So let's change the quote to good information professionals are hard to find. This also means two things. Good information professionals may be hard to find because sometimes we're going to play roles that are not clear to our colleagues, managers or other smart people who need to understand what we do or what we're capable of. Note the infinitely looping debate about the iSchool brand. You might have to play a role of translator or liaison that is not fully recognized or appreciated. People might not know what you are, so you have to show them, remind them, and help them see that. It also means something else. Good information professionals are rare that have had the holistic education that we have just gotten. Paraphrasing our favorite card-carrying hater classmate, considering what Berkeley represents as an institution, the iSchool, it would be inspiring if the iSchool became synonymous with intelligent, meaningful, ethical, and socially engaged professionalism in the tech sector, which is why I appreciate the previous speech by our speaker, Mr. Bass. A place that challenges us to combine idealism with entrepreneurialism and find practical ways to make the world a better place instead of paying lip service to the idea while we devise new ways to make people click on ads. That's right. Thank you, Ian. We're still grappling ourselves with what it means to be information professionals and how to do it right. But we don't need to wait around until we have a stronger brand or until our titles make more sense to the layperson to carry out these responsibilities. The ongoing homework assignment you now have ahead of you is to remember what we've done here. You no longer have the luxury of being blind to what we know you know. And you're going to come up against people that do not have the discernment or practice the careful analysis that you have learned. Adapting a quote from Darwin Smith, brilliant and humble former CEO of Kimberly-Clark, never stop trying to be qualified for your job. So we're going to commit to that right now. There's the Hippocratic Oath for doctors. The Order of the Engineer also has a pledge. If we want to be legit as a discipline, we can take this up a notch and commit to what we will and will not do as information professionals. This might be a bit unkosher because usually before you take a pledge, you want to know what you're getting into. But you guys can delegate your trust to the algorithm that I wrote, which is based in objectively good values and ethics. And so we're going to take a symbolic pledge right now. I did borrow some elements from another well-known pledge, but I have a strong fair use defense for any copyright infringement claims that might be made against me. This is obviously transformative use. So please bear with me. We're going to do this repeat after me style. You're welcome to join in, MIDS, PhDs, MIMS 2016, since I won't be here to indoctrinate you next year. So let's practice. This is a repeat after me pledge. This is a repeat after me pledge. One more time. This is a repeat after me pledge.
This is a repeat after me pledge.
On my honor, I will try.
On my honor, I will try.
To serve people and society.
To serve people and society.
To create technology for important human needs.
Create technology for important human needs.
And to abide by the iSchool pledge.
To abide by the iSchool pledge.
I am responsible for what I design and code.
I am responsible for what I design and code.
I will do my best to be.
I will do my best to be.
Inquisitive and not condescending.
Inquisitive and not condescending.
Ever mindful of privacy and security.
Ever mindful of privacy and security.
To combat technological determinism.
To combat technological determinism.
To remember that artifacts have politics.
To remember that artifacts have politics.
To beware the power of defaults.
To beware the power of defaults.
I will use and abide by technical standards.
I will use and abide by technical standards.
I will design with the tussle in mind.
I will design with the tussle in mind.
And I will be accountable for the things I create in the world.
And I will be accountable for the things I create in the world.
So go forth, high schoolers. Congrats 2015. Woo!